What is up, Gamer Army? Welcome to another fun-filled, exciting episode of Psycho Gamer. I am always your host, Aubrey, and I'm here to bring you another video. It has been a minute since I've done a video, but I wanted to bring this video to you since everything's kind of settled down with some of the stuff going on with Arcade1up. Now, one of the big games that recently got announced and was also released was the Star Wars arcade game re-release. What is different about this version of Star Wars Arcade than the original one? Well, we're going to take a look at that today. So before we do, though, make sure you hit that like and subscribe. Stay tuned. We'll be looking right at Star Wars right after this. Stay tuned. All right, welcome back. Like I said, we are going to talk about the Star Wars arcade game today. So we're going to do a little more of an in-depth look at it because I don't believe I actually did one for this particular cabinet. Now, this particular cabinet came out kind of before I really started doing my Arcade1up videos, if I'm not mistaken. So this is going to be a first for me, even though this re-release is pretty much the same thing other than a couple little cosmetic updates. But it'll be cool to go over. So we're going to switch over to my computer. We are going to talk Star Wars Arcade right after I switch right over. All right, as you can see, we are looking at the Star Wars arcade game by Arcade1up. So we are on the Arcade1up website because this seems to be one of the only places you can actually get this cabinet right now. Through Shop Hippo, of course. $599.99. Seems a little overpriced by today's standards for one of these classic retro games, but it's Star Wars. We're going to take a look at the pictures first, as we normally do, and then we're going to go into the actual content itself. So we can actually zoom in. We actually see the Arcade1up's version of their flight yoke with the Atari on it. Now, a couple of the biggest differences that you're going to see is this one actually has the coin door. So it's got that molded coin door here, which when they did that, they had to kind of update the art as well. So the previous version of this particular cabinet only had Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi on it. So just by looking at this picture, they looked a little, I guess, reddish, I guess if you could say. Well, this one's kind of a little more on the gray side, which really isn't a bad thing. I actually kind of like the looks of this a little bit better. Your molding is all black, whereas the previous one was blue as well. So they've actually updated that. So kind of has that universal look, kind of that dark kind of feel to it, which is, I've got nothing wrong with that. You look, it actually has black molding all the way around when it comes to the actual riser, as opposed to kind of like a light gray or not at all when it comes to the old cabinet. So it's a light gray, I guess you could say. Now, one of the other differences is you can see the riser right here has a TIE Fighter, TIE Interceptor down here. Or, yeah, it's a TIE Interceptor. It's not a TIE Bomber, but it's a TIE Interceptor. Versus the extended side panel right here, which is going to have just basically the Death Star and an actual TIE Fighter with these little blue lines around the bottom as well. Now, other than that, it's pretty much the same thing. Now, our next picture shows somebody acting like he really knows what he's doing and playing this game, which is perfectly fine. This is your other 45-degree angle, so it's got the same art on the other side as well, which you can see from just the straight-up side panel. Other side panel, obviously you got Vader there, and you got your TIE Fighters, you got your X-Wings. There's your straight-on look when it comes to the actual cabinet itself. So a little more darker. It is got your light up marquee up here as well. A little more of a down view so you can actually see what the actual flight yoke is like. Now, there are people who have already purchased this. They've already gotten it, and they've already said that the Glenn's Arcade, I think it's Glenn's Arcade, his flight yoke will actually just drop right into this, just like the previous one. Like I said, they really didn't change anything up other than those couple little cosmetic looks for this particular cabinet. Now, you can still look in here. You can see all the different buttons, all the art that they've got here as well. It does have that, I guess you want to say it's kind of like a 45-degree angle, maybe a little more when it comes to how the screen is positioned. So they really didn't change the angle of that. Even though a couple of the pictures that I've seen almost look like it was a little bit different, it's really not. It's still the exact same thing. Now, looking at all the features, now that we've gone past the pictures, got the molded lit faux coin door, which is fake. Real feel 4-button trigger style flight yoke, 3 games in 1, dual speakers, and as it says, it does have that light up marquee, which is nice. You got Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi. Now, the dimensions, like I mentioned, are exactly the same as the original one. It's 20 by 18.75 by 60.8 inches high. And those are, like I said, exactly the same. Weight is 92 pounds. Has that same 17-inch color LCD screen. Has your clear deck protector, even though you're really not touching the deck, I guess. I guess it's like okay when if you're waiting in between, you're kind of propping yourself up. Anti-tip strap, and has the adjustable variable volume. So this is basically all their fluff. The special 40th anniversary edition of the Star Wars home arcade game. It's hard to believe it's been 40 years. From the original arcade machine that flows seamlessly from the cabinet to the included riser. The just over 5-foot tall machine with riser comes with a lit molded coin door, light up marquee, full color 17-inch display, and dual speakers. These features combined with the real feel flight yoke and control buttons allow for endless hours of gaming. The Star Wars home arcade game is easy to assemble. Now, one thing I would tell you that you would want to do is most likely upgrade or replace that yoke. So if you are going to order this, go online and find one of the other third-party yokes that have been made. From what I understand, they are much, much better, and they're not super expensive either. It's also nice to replace it just as you're actually putting it together. So that way you don't have to tear it apart and put it all back together again. So that is my recommendation. Now, there has been a lot of drama going on in the Arcade1up Facebook fan pages. I'm not really going to go into all that, but it is more between Glenn and Arcade1up when it comes to the particular channels. There's a lot of drama out there. If you want to see the drama, just go ahead and head over to Facebook and you can look at it yourself. But a lot of it, people are trying to go past, and they're trying to get where they don't have to worry about this drama again. Please don't add to the drama. Everything that's been said has already been said, and we just need to move on past all of that garbage. So back to the game here. I think it's going to be a really good addition to anybody's home arcade machine. If you have not purchased this cabinet, it might be good to get if it's still available. You know, you go to shophippo.com and they're still doing pre-orders, which looks like from the 15th. So I guess the initial wave that they had, they ended up selling out of it. So if you want it, go pre-order it. That's all I could really tell you. That is going to do it for the main content of this video, guys. I appreciate all of you coming out as always. Now, a little bit about where I've been. Life is life. I have not been making any videos the past month because I don't know if I've gotten a little bit burned out of doing it. I know I've been kind of pushing videos back and back and back, farther and farther and farther. But working 2 jobs, taking care of a house, it's a little bit difficult to have time to do everything all at once. So this is my little bit of free time that I'm kind of utilizing for you guys, because I do like making these videos. If I didn't like making these videos, I wouldn't have upgraded all of my equipment other than my camera, obviously. That's really the next big thing. It's been the next big thing I've really needed to buy for quite a long time. While using this Elgato web camera is not a bad web camera, at the end of the day, it's still a web camera. I'd like to be able to get a little more on the go and actually move around other than just kind of sit here at the computer. But, I mean, beggars can't be choosers, as we are. On top of that, family life is good. Just busy. That's all I can really say. So, I appreciate all you guys coming for the support that you guys give to the channel. Now, there is one thing I'm not necessarily going to change, but you might see me talk about a little bit. I'm thinking about moving my video content, at least most of my video content, over to Rumble. Now, Rumble is a much smaller version of YouTube, but you have more chances of actually getting seen there because there's not as many people on that site. And they do have it where you can get monetized literally like that. You don't have to go through the 4,000 hours or 1,000 subscribers in order to get monetized. But it could be a matter of bringing people over from that channel over to this one and vice versa. So if you guys hear me talk about Rumble, that's why I'm talking about Rumble. So I am not going to give up on YouTube. I'm going to still make my videos for here. Still going to make it for you guys. But if I do get my Rumble set up and get things moved over there, it's most likely going to be Psycho Gamer or the Psycho Gamer. So just keep your eyes out for that. I'll probably end up talking about it maybe in a future video. So if you guys are over there, look for me. So again, I appreciate you guys coming out and checking out the videos, checking out the channel. As always, is much appreciated. Until next time, guys, game on.